When I applied for MSI this year, there were some expectations that did not cross my mind. One of the unknown expectations were that all of the mentees were going to be taking Introduction to Chemistry. This class was held every Tuesday and Wednesday from 8:30 until lunchtime. But before we actually started MSI, I knew that Brianna and I were going to be working with Steve in the field of psychology, focusing on the study of cognitive science. We learned about the two main technologies that Steve uses to do this research. The technology that we used in Dr. Bucock's lab was the electroencephalogram. Using this event-related potential ERP technique, researchers are able to examine how the brain processes information when subjected to certain tasks. The main task of Steve's project was object recognition. We got to see how his experiment was programmed, and we even had an opportunity to work with the E-Prime programming software. Sadly, we didn't have enough time to program our own study. One day we had a participant for the ERP, and we got to set up the brainwave cap before the experiment. We had to put little sponges on the electrodes in the cap and fill them with saline solution so they could read the electrical activity on the scalp. Filling the sponges was sort of nerve-wracking because we had to fill them with a certain amount of saline solution to get them to turn to the right color, and if we put too much in, we would have to start over. Then we got to watch the brainwaves being recorded and monitored on the computer. Most of the time when we didn't have any participants, we went to the library and read articles on science technologies or on science and technology in general. Most of the time I was reading articles and magazines on herpetology because animals are hard to figure out by our means. We also made Google Reader accounts and subscribed to some articles that related to science and technology. Then when we weren't in the library, we were either talking to the professors or looking at videos of the EEG being used for gaming and computer control. The second research technology we examined was the eye tracking system in Dr. Landy's lab. It was used to track the eye's movements when reading or looking at pictures. Eye tracking is also used in computer control. Many companies are trying to make computers for the physically disabled that use eye tracking software. This system works better depending on the reflective capacity of the cornea. Brianna's eyes were more suited for the eye tracker, so she was able to run through a study. The eye tracking research was background for Dr. Landy's application project. His project was to see if middle school children learned algebra better when using pen and paper or using the iPad application, which is more interactive. The results have shown that the iPad does make people better and comfortable doing algebra. I thought it was a cool experiment because it helps supports the theory that technology is making a big impact on learning at all stages of development and education. This overall experience was fun, and if I had a chance to do it again, I would. It also gave me another field of study that I might be interested in, also because Dr. Bucock's dog, Pemberley, was the psychology building. I thought of becoming an animal behavior psychologist.